On the conversation of best FNAF fan games, there's a lot that come to mind, and Tyken Sons is certainly in every conversation. It went from underrated gem to highly renowned and is known as one of the best products of the Fazbear Fanverse initiative. So let's go through the game to get an understanding as to why that's the case. So to put y'all on game, Tyken Sons is inspired by Chipper and Sons, the game that inspired Scott to make FNAF due to the character's uncanny looks. The story somewhat continues where Tyke, the Sons and Chipper and Sons, grows up and marries a girl named Lisa. Notice how Chipper's wife isn't in the family tree. That's cause he ate her. Bro took Eat Her Out to a whole new level. A year later, Tyke and Lisa have a kid named Mike, who you play as in this game. And at some point, Chipper just disappears with no explanation. But what's even more confusing is that they only searched for him for a few hours? Bro, do y'all not even care? And why are you looking under a leaf, dumbass? Since they obviously didn't find him, the legacy of the company now lies in the hands of Tyke and Mike. And the first thing Tyke does to his son is throw him out? That's actually insane. It's a hard life being a beaver. Bro, this news should not have you nodding this much. So now I'm out on my lonesome. Kind of. Left to carry the company on my back. Look guys, I'm lumbing it. I'm lumbing it. There's a few tasks you have to complete throughout the day. The main one being that you have to plant trees. Just pour water and grow. After it's done growing, you chop it up and hey yo. Bro seems a little too excited chopping that wood. You can turn the wood into lumber, which can be used to build other things. The first thing I have to build is the Chippo map. Bro, I'm not finna build this thing. Are you crazy? Why does he look like that? Dog, this thing is gonna kill me. There's also some root monsters that spawn random prizes. They look kinda freaky though. After building the Chippo mat, it's time to call it a day. We did pretty good, but now it's time to get some sleep. Oh, hell no. Why am I not asleep? Oh no, we're not doing that. Wait, how is bro knocking if he doesn't have hands? So this meter at the top left is my sleep assurance. Basically, I'm not going to bed until I'm certain that thing won't molest me. The way I make sure of that is to flash him whenever he shows up at a window, and every now and then I have to replace my batteries, otherwise, well, he'll touch me. Also, you can honk the Chipper plushie's nose. Once my sleep assurance meter fills up, I can finally sleep. At last. Today I can finally explore the island, and the first thing I'm tasked to do is get a mixchiato from my mom's coffee shop. What makes a mixchiato different from a macchiato? Anyways, before I do that, I run into this clanker who thinks I want to destroy its flowers. It then attacks me and I have to play this super difficult boss fight. Get on, Tinny. When I finally reach the coffee shop, I have to play this mini game where I'm a robot girl who catches falling snacks and drinks and brings them to their dedicated duck. And after winning, cause I'm awesome, she ends up giving me a regular coffee. Dumb bitch. The rest of the island has some interesting places, like this shop where you can play the world-renowned game Retrotopia. You just collect flowers while dealing with different obstacles, and each level has a prize. Hey, that alien kinda reminds me of someone. There's an item shop where you can buy rare stuff. Then there's this currywurst joint where you give items to this roach for food. I don't really understand why this place exists since you don't gain anything except discomfort. You can venture off to the mountains where it's extremely cold, but if you get too far... Let's just bring this coffee back to Tyke. The next task is to build a rock farm. I don't know how rocks grow more rocks, but whatever. After that, I have to meet an old family friend by the name of Seabill who resides on the far left side of the island. He mentions the crabs near his house need help decorating their space and puts me up to the task. I then have to gather materials to build a cocktail bar and a palm tree. After setting both up, they thank me and tell me the story of Summer Crab, now known as Spring Crab, who was built to help the crabs but would run up in people's houses? What? I have no clue as to why she did that. After Chipper disappeared, they assumed it was her, so they had to call our raps and destroy her for good. But hear this. So these guys took her up a cliff and shoved her off? Come on, dog, was that really necessary? Now apparently she was spotted last spring. Wait, she survived? I already know what's gonna happen. A little after, we get some dialogue with no visuals, just text. Well, whoever that is, I hope they don't become too much of a problem. Now the last thing I have to do for the day is make another Chipomat? Like, a second one? Did you not witness what occurred last night? Bro was too busy giving Lisa the Dam Destroyer instead of helping me not get sliced to bits. Whatever, bro, let's just make this thing. It's so over. The second night is very similar to the first, and you guessed it, 2.0 is here. Yay. Unlike the original Chipomat, this one doesn't make much sound when they appear, but if I'm being honest, I didn't hear them at all, so I just non-stop checked each side. It doesn't appear through the front doors though, so that's cool. Bro, I knew it. Y'all just had to talk about her. Dog, I swear it wasn't me. I have to keep her at bay by flashing my light left and right until she leaves. I don't know why that works, but I'm glad it does. Neither of them were much of a problem though, and I survived the night quite easily. The third day arrives, and Tyke wants me to build a broken ship and a wooden bird by Seabill's request. But before I do, a frog wearing a propeller drops by and immediately arrests Tyke due to sleep disturbance and theft? Where did that come from? Well, it seems that the Chipomats, and probably Spring Crab, have been breaking into other people's homes and stealing their jewelry. Wait, hold on. Why are they trying to kill me, but everybody else just gets their stuff taken? What's even crazier though is Tyke, my own dad, starts blaming me. Bro, what did I do? Yeah, I built them, but they're attacking me too. In fact, the only person they don't seem to be attacking is you. Real fishy if you ask me. Mike does admit to building the robots though, and the officer gives Tyke a day to prove his innocence. How kind. After building the ship and bird, I go to Seabill's house to let him know, but two birds were already there and were talking about his past. Apparently, he seems to be well known for surviving some crazy robot attack a while ago. Huh. Relatable. I let him know about his fans outside and he tells me what actually happened. One night, a loud noise woke him up. When he looked outside, he saw a giant robot with a whole bunch of weapons. He tried to dap him up, but it just blew up his house. Yeah, dog, never trust a clanker. Luckily, he survived, even though a lot of his money didn't. Ooh, forced to being a brokey is crazy work. He then gives me a key to supposedly the most awesome place I've ever seen, but I'll be the judge of that. It's an underground party with ducks? Huh, I guess he was right. Well, only one thing to do now. Bust a move. Ew, what is this dancing? You're just stepping in place. Alright bro, you're done, you can stop. Forb J thinks my moves are good though and asked me to bring him one of the classic remixes my family has. I go to my dad for the disc, but he has me fight some egotistical robot he made 5,000 years ago. That old ass beaver, I swear. After completely owning him, Tyke gives me a song by Timber Swift. Thanks bro. Alright, let's see what it sounds like. Banger. I then wake up in this underground construction site where I have to play this mini game and collect this thing called Roborocks. After that, I catch the Duck Bros talking about some of Seabill's past robots. You know what that means. Also, an interesting thing is that the animatronic in the middle is Rockstar Fredbear. I find my way back to my dad, and for my last task of the day, he wants me to build a storm machine in the Rock Chop, which is an animatronic, but it's harmless. Phew. The third night brings a whole new problem to the table. On top of the Chipomats, I now have to deal with an old Seabill robot that looks like Seabill. Kinda, sort of. Man, y'all gotta stop mentioning random animatronics. The way this one works is every now and then he'll make a noise which signals that he's about to show up, and when he does, I have to turn off the lights until he leaves. It doesn't end there though. There's another animatronic called Phantom Chipomat that may or may not jump scare you and take away half of your flashlight battery. Not gonna lie, he was the only one who was actually able to scare me more than once. He wasn't really a problem overall, but was still fairly challenging. The next day starts with Tyke wanting to tell me a story but before he does, the propeller frog returns. Well, you better have that proof. And of course he doesn't. I then had to knock him out and dump him in a back alley. This doesn't help our case at all. Once I get back, Tyke has this stone with a crystal in it, and he wants me to collect the other two to see what happens. One stone belongs to an owl named Tinker. He lives up in the mountains, and in order to get to his house, I have to craft a large umbrella to place under the cloud that froze me 5 minutes and 13 seconds ago. Once I reach his place, he wants me to bring him seedless grapes. Well, one of the crabs has some, but he wants me to bring him a whale plushie. In order to get the whale plushie, I have to build a generator that powers a shuttle that brings me underwater, and I have to avoid fans and shoot angry fish and swim from a wall of spikes, then fight this weird stonefish snake thing, and then after all of that I can finally get it. Would it really hurt to get some of this stuff yourselves? On a side note, I fell down a log and met some cool turtles that had a minigame. It sucked, but the turtles were chill. I return the stone to Tyke and he starts to yap about another one of Seabill's old robots. You know what, just shush, don't speak. I have the talking stick. The second stone is kept by this guy named Costa Cadena, who I think has moderate to severe tuberculosis. Before he gives me the crystal, he wants me to build things for his friends. Some fancy lights, a fancy chair, and this guy just wanted to vent about that. After fulfilling their wishes, I was gonna get the crystal, but some duck decided to take it for himself. Apparently the reason being he sells things to Costa, but never got paid, which led to the crash that we're currently witnessing. In order to get it back, I have to play his super innovative minigame of Match 2. So unique. I finally get the crystal and put it in the stone, which then summons this spiritual entity. I can't even comprehend how atrocious this build is. Tyke tries to get some insight on who could possibly be the culprit behind the killer robot situation, and he doesn't really give a direct answer, but he does say that Seabill has them. So instinctively I visit Seabill and he sends me to an island where all the answers lie. And they definitely were there. I got attacked by this giant robot bird, which was actually a really good boss fight. Now, I'm gonna be real, I had a feeling it was Seabill. That laugh sounded very quacky. After taking down the robo bird, I make a dash back to Tyke to let him know what happened, but instead of him being concerned, he tells me to build the Chipomat 3.0. Bro, another one? I can't keep doing this, bro. You're gonna have to find someone else. Bro, why is he tweaking? So night 4 is very similar to the previous, with Chipomat 3.0 of course. You do not need to look at me like that. Just a bunch of clicking and flashing and oh yeah, kill timber. You can actually see this startled me for a bit. I kind of forgot about him. Luckily, you deal with him the same way you deal with spring crab. All in all, it wasn't that bad. Bro, what do you mean something got inside? Come on, you are not real, get out of my house. So you actually can't end the night without getting rid of him, and to do so you have to flash him, run downstairs, then run back upstairs. And for some reason this was not explained at all, which would have been nice since I was endlessly playing for like 15 minutes after I had max sleep assurance. Now today is the Mushroom Festival, and the party will be held at our place. The reason of this festival's existence is because we want to appreciate what nature has given us. Yeah. Okay, but there's this guy named Fun Fungal and we gotta make his day, and since he loves playing hide and seek, I have to go across the island looking for him. A little later I pull up to the party and Tyke wants me to meet all of the guests. Fungal is the last person and of course he has to tell me a story about an animatronic. Oh, I hate you, go explode! Apparently this one brutally maims its victims and I should be cautious tonight. Kill yourself. So the last night starts while the party is still going on. Bruh, imagine being hunted by deadly robots while everybody's hitting the gritty and singing Mo Bamba. What the heliante was that? I'm gonna strangle that mushroom when I see him. So Nightmare Toad has two boss fights. One is the normal night where the minimap will flash where he's waiting, while the other spaces just show small mushrooms. After that he'll move to your bed and you have to use your water gun to spray a target while keeping the mushrooms at bay. I'm gonna be honest, this night sucked zooty cheeks. The regular night was so easy, especially since I was told where he was, and the second part was fine, but the scariness was completely gone by then. But then again, this guy really isn't that scary to begin with. The next morning, Fungal was arrested since it was obviously his robot. He denies any responsibility though. He gets taken away and Seabill, who suspiciously wasn't at the party, wants me to meet him underground. Gee, I wonder what he wants to show me. You know, I can't act like I'm surprised. I've been known bro was responsible for all of this. And the smoking gun was the mecha bird. But the smoking gun was the blueprints to the robot that supposedly attacked him back then. Well, to absolutely no one's surprise, Seabill was the culprit. What did surprise me was the fact that he's not even Seabill. This bitch is Seabob. Seabill was his twin brother that he killed with the laser robot since he was mad that Seabill fired him for making killer animatronics. You know, the same ones that tried to kill me. Yeah bro, maybe don't make machines that would hit gold and ranked stocking. He then just admits that he's racist towards beavers. Insane work. He throws me down this hole where it turns out Chipper was here the whole time. The entity comes back and with his help, me, Chipper, and Tyke battle Seabob and eventually get him to Allah Akbar himself. And that's Tyken Son's Lumber Co. There is a custom night with even more animatronics, but it's insanely difficult. This was a pretty great game. I will say the night sections were a little too easy, and I think that's due to the flashlight being endlessly rechargeable. I think if you're only able to recharge them after getting a certain amount of sleep assurance, it would be a lot more challenging. But overall, I really enjoyed this game. I don't think I'll need any black wood though. I already have some.